John left like 1.5 years ago. Like this is our third year essentially. Like
Yeah.
we're ending 3 years, which is like crazy. Can we talk about it? Like
I honestly
Oh my
thought when
gosh.
we started, this was going to just be a 1 year or even less than that. Just a short-term
Yeah.
project that I'll just do, have fun with it, learn all I need, and then just say bye-bye to it because it's a short-term project. One of the things that stuck with me at the start of this is this thought that, not the thought, but like the statistic that most small businesses don't last more than 3 years. I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. I don't have any desire to start a business, but if I had a project that went for a more long-term period rather than just a couple months, that would be kind of cool. And I think the podcast has grown into that, even though I mean we're kind of folding at the 3 year mark, but still being able to hit that as compared to my initial estimate
Thoughts.
of a year. I think it's still fantastic, and it's something that I would not have imagined when I started it all the way back in 2019.
Yeah, I think like we got a year in when my mom was like, "This is no longer just for John's CV, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, no, Mom, it's for mine too."
Honestly,
might as
I'm
well make it
glad.
for everyone's CV.
I'm honestly glad that you guys had that attitude. I was not expecting you guys to jump on so enthusiastically, because at first it was just me doing everything. If you remember, in the early days,
Yeah.
it's just I show up, I set up all the cameras, I set up all the audio, run all the cabling, and I'm sitting there monitoring the audio. I edit, I shoot the videos, I edit the videos. But then you guys started to take on more and more of it, and I think I've seen you guys grow definitely, and I'm really happy to be able to handle
It's also like
those things to you.
Yeah, no, and also like learning how to share responsibility together. You know, like I would have never done this if it was just me. And like I think I text Rebecca like every single month, and I'm like, I'm so glad this is you I'm doing this with. Like I don't know who else I would do it with.
Right.
And like it's honestly like such an honor and such a privilege to have gotten to like work with you guys to this capacity.
Yeah.
Because now like we've been through like some not rough patches, but we've been through like, it's not like every month we're firefighting, but like, you know, every month there's something new that we have to like address as a team. And it doesn't really, it like kind of keeps us on our toes a little bit and forces us to stay in proper communication. And like I think there are times when we have like fumbled that bag a little bit, but we've always been able to like pick ourselves up and work it out. And like I'm just really thankful that it's you guys that I get to do that with, because not only are we like coworkers, but we're also friends.
Yeah.
And I think like working with you on this, like you guys both, it's really given me the tools to work on other projects with other friends, because now like at least for me and Rebecca, when I think John just left, we realized, okay, we have to make time to just be friends and not talk about work.
Exactly.
How can we create that space? And like I've been able to take that lesson and bring it to other friendships and working relationships.
Yeah, and that's so important. It's like I think so much can go wrong, especially if like there's tensions or like we disagree, and thankfully like there's no big fights or anything, but so much could go wrong. And really maintaining that working relationship first of all, and also honestly it's friendship first. Friendship first, and then like working together on the project. And I think because we both see this as something important, we both see it as I think we both see it in the same way. It's not like, you know, you don't care as much kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think because we see eye to eye on the importance of this, that's why we're able to work together, and like even if we don't agree all the time. And I'm thankful for that. And also we started like right before COVID. I think by the third episode it was like COVID. And that was crazy because like we've been like around the same time like COVID has, and COVID's still going on. And we're like,
bro,
bye
we
bye.
got outlived by a freaking disease.
Yeah. But I remember our first team episode. I was like monitoring the audio, and I was like, I want to like sit in the director's chair and like monitor the audio because like I think it's gonna be like so fun and so cool. And then little did I know, like half a year later, I would be like producing everything and not just
Yeah.
like sitting in there and like monitoring the audio. And like I think if you go back and see the clips, I was like really happy to like sit in that chair.
You were so proud of yourself. You were so excited.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then now you're like, every time like OBS or whatever, Reaper, it's like, the files, where are they?
Exactly.
It's evolved.
But I think the whole like 1.5 years without John. So like John was producer for like the first 1.5 years, and then he went to like university. Still in university, hasn't dropped out, which is great. He's doing
Still
well.
here.
And I have taken over like the main producer role, and I was like, John's doing all of this, and then back then he was doing it on top of his
Like full-time job.
full-time like media job, and I
Yeah.
was like, huh? Like you're editing so much already and you're doing some more of this. But to be fair, like now we don't just like edit the videos and the audio, we're also like making reels, which is
Yeah.
okay. You can look at it and say like, oh, it's like 15 seconds, but like the
I mean,
amount
the
of
work
time
that goes into it,
took,
yeah.
and like you don't know until like you're behind.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're the one thinking about like the content, you're the one trying to set up, you're the one trying to make the guests feel comfortable, and then you're all the one like trying to get the content out there.
Yeah.
There's so much that you don't know until you do it. And like I have immense respect for people who like
Do
edit
this full-time.
videos. I remember like occasionally we talk about it's like, oh, this YouTuber, he has like so many cuts, or like there's so many like overlays and everything,
Yeah.
right?
And
like,
like, I
insane.
think just the way we consume media has been changed by now actively participating in it.
Yeah, for sure. For
like
sure.
to people who think being an influencer is an easy job, like I think it's definitely different from a 9 to 5, but I would
Yeah.
not call it easy.
I think it's hard in different ways.
Yeah, it's a different kind of hard.
Yeah.
What makes
Yeah.
the difference is the team of people that you have around you. Like influencers, you see them as the ones in front of the camera all the time, but really there is a
Right.
whole host
You have
of
a
people
whole team
around
behind
them.
them.
And
Yeah.
just recently, I had to produce a live production. So we, like the final project for my multicam class, it's like a TV production class. And so the final project, I was asked to be the producer for it. It was this live action Mario Kart. They have these actual Mario Karts.
That
And they have a
sounds so
little,
fun.
they have a little, you guys probably saw my stories, but there's a little camera on the car, and then there's augmented reality software that overlays parts of the track and little obstacles on the track as the drivers race. And so my job was a producer. I had 2 weeks to produce this show of 30 minutes ish, and to work with a crew of about 20-ish, maybe slightly less than 20 people. And just, I found myself enjoying that because I knew that this was a role that I was somewhat familiar with, having done these things with the podcast. I know that my job is to prepare the groundwork so that when the directors and the rest of my crew comes in, they have everything set for them. And when the show is actually happening, I'm there to put out fires and there to make sure that they have everything they need. If they're missing something, how can I get that for them? And it's just crazy that what allowed me. So I did a lot more than what any of the other producers in this class have done, and what honestly helped me with that was having this experience on the podcast, being comfortable with being able to hand off and delegate responsibilities to different crew members. Because before this, I was I know what's best, I can do it all myself, I'm gonna take on everything by myself. And doing this podcast, I realized I can't do that. I have to be able to delegate. I have to be able to say that I know that I can do maybe this aspect well enough by myself, but when I'm tasked with 5, 6, 10 other things that I have to do, I cannot do them all at the same level of quality. And so I have to be willing to give it out to other people so that in the end my product's gonna be better. And it all ties back to the podcast, because doing all the recording, editing was such a big
It was crazy.
task.
Yeah.
And doing it on top of national service, doing it on top of my job. It was crazy. I honestly don't know how I did it, but I was so glad when people like Kyle come in, when Rebecca, Emma, you guys come in to take on little parts of it, whether it's like the recording, the setting up, even being able to troubleshoot. You don't know how amazing it is when you have someone who just takes the initiative to troubleshoot an issue and you just have that problem, you don't even have to think about it because you know that someone's taken the initiative and they're on that task to find a solution. You're just like, okay, this person's responsible for it now. I can focus my attention on the other things that I need to do because someone I trust is taking care of this issue. And so just having a great team makes all the difference.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's one way I've really seen you grow as well. Like from the beginning where you would be doing everything, and it's not like we didn't notice, but like as we really just grew like in knowing each other and like learning how to trust each other, I think, and being teachable together, you know, like being able to share that responsibility is something I've seen you grow in, and like learning the humility to like share that responsibility as well.